Hey, everybody. Welcome to the VGrillers podcast, episode 6. I'm George, your host, founder and CEO of VGASS, the vertical grill accessory storage system. And I'm here with MrFlavorsmith.
Hello, everybody. Welcome.
And we are just thrilled to have as our guest today. Most of you probably know him, Captain Ron Cooks. And Ron is, as most of you know, a big green egg specialist. He's a live fire cooking expert. He's a very influential influencer in our barbecue space. He's got 53,000 Instagram followers, 11,000 Facebook followers, 5,000 YouTube subscribers. I mean, the guy kind of rocks, or should I say kind of cooks. So with that, I'd like to welcome Ron to the podcast and would love to hear a little bit about your background, where you're at now, what kind of stuff, what do you got your hands in, what have you been doing recently? I know you've been doing some cooking competitions and you've been at some EggFests, and I'm going to see you this weekend at the Ohio EggFest. So very excited about all that. But Ron, take it away.
Wow. First off, what an intro like that. I just wanted to sign out and come back in here every half hour today. That was fantastic, man. My head won't fit through the door. But no, first of all, let me just start by saying, hey, thanks so much for having me on here. You know, this is really great. I'm always honored and humbled when I get asked to do something like this. So thank you, George, and thank you, Mr.Flavorsmith. So,
you got it.
Yes.
Welcome, Captain Ron.
Well, thank you. Yeah, you know, so it's just been fun. Like you said, I do a lot with Big Green Egg. I do a lot of live fire cooking. We're doing some open fire stuff now, and we've had some good success with it. And you know what the thing comes down to? We're just having fun doing it. You know, that's really what it comes down to. So, yeah, so that's just a little about me. I live down here in Coral Springs, Florida, which is right outside of Fort Lauderdale, and we're doing this from inside right now because it's about 198 degrees out with about 128% humidity. So it's just gross outside, man. You know, I'm seeing that pool. I'm looking at my pool, going, it's too hot to go in my pool right now. You know, so but anyway,
your covered pool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just a screen cover, okay? It's not fancy.
So with that high humidity there, you don't really need to spray down your meat when you're smoking it. Then you just open it up periodically, right?
Pretty much, yeah. You know, it's funny. I'm not a big spritzer anyway. I'm not. They've talked the virtues of it, and I've done them both, and I can't tell you that I've found enough difference to justify it. You know, like one thing nice about the Big Green Egg, I get that baby burning like 250 degrees. I'll put a brisket on at 11 o'clock at night, and I go to bed and sleep like a baby all night long. I don't have to come out and spritz. I don't have to do anything. Right when I wake up, I can wrap it. You know, so yeah, I'm not a big spritzer anyway. But yeah, that's I guess you found an advantage to our humidity, if there is one.
There you go.
Yeah, silver lining every cloud, right?
Well, so I know you were at the South Beach Wine and Food Festival, which sounds like a great event. Right?
Yeah.
You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, that was amazing. That was my second year participating in it. We participated. The South Beach Food and Wine is put on by Food Network, you know, so it's a really big event. Every celebrity chef in the world you could think of is there, you know. And this event is put on by Tyler Florence. It's Masters of Fire and Open Fire Cooking, you know. And they bring in chefs from all over the country and local restaurants and everybody like that. And I got invited to be on a team called La Porca Nostra, which is my friend Ray Esperon. He's like a whole hog specialist, man. He's Cuban, and I've never seen anybody cook a pig like this guy, you know. And so we got out there, and everybody's got their grill. They got some tomahawks hanging out. We had two pigs up on the crosses, you know, and the whole shebang. And we served these croquetas that were dusted with gold dust, you know. And I was out front. We did all the cooking, and I was out front, kind of talking to the crowd, you know, shall we say. And oh my God, so, you know, we got this. We 14 hours, so you know we did, and then we dust it in gold dust. You know why? Because it's South Beach, baby. Come on, you know. And we just had the crowd rolling, man. We had a good old time. We really like to make a fun time out of everything that we were doing, and that one was definitely a fun time. The most important thing is we won. We took first place overall in the Masters of Fire. So yeah, we were
Congratulations.
In that crowd, we were like, what? Are you kidding me? You know, so it was a big deal for us for sure. You know, it was an honor without a doubt. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, if they would take me, I'd consider coming down there with VGASS next year, but we'll see. It's probably super expensive to be a vendor there.
I would imagine so. It's an unbelievable event. I mean, it's a week long thing down here, and there's just stuff going 24/7. Ours was the last night of the last day, and so we get done, we win this thing, and we're all just flying high. So we're going to leave there, and my girlfriend Lynn and I are walking out. I'm towing this wagon full of stuff, and she's like, "I have to use the restroom. I have to." I said, "Well, just run up in the hotel." So we're right between these two nice hotels. So I'm just kind of standing there. Then all of a sudden, the door to the one hotel opens, and out walks Guy Fieri, his son, and Robert Irvine. They just walk down the stairs, and they're just kind of standing there, like 20 feet away from me. I'm like, now's my chance. I went over and said, "Man, I got to introduce you myself." I said, "Robert, I've met you before." I said, "But Guy, I've been dying to meet you." He's like, "Hey, thanks." I said, "Man, we just got done. We just won the Masters of Fire and everything." The guy's like, "You won Masters of Fire?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Wow, that's a pretty big deal." And kind of turned around and just kept talking to Robert. It was funny because we kind of got the feeling that not that he wasn't friendly, but like he was done. Then I thought about it. I'm like, this guy's been going hard for 6 days from ding to dong. He's at every damn event that's going on. This is at 1:30 in the morning. I said, he had to have been so exhausted. But his son, the one that's on the show with him and everything like that, "Hey, nice to meet you. Oh, this is my wife. We just got married. Tell us all about the thing." And he just wanted to talk and talk and talk. It was such a pleasant experience getting to meet those guys, And I was just surprised at how friendly and open his son was, really. Kind of cool.
How cool. What a cool experience. Yeah.
Yeah. So of course I posted on
So
Facebook looking like we were best friends.
There you go. Now, how many people did you say roughly attend this event?
So I think at our event, I think there's probably about 2,500 people that attended that event. So we served a lot of croquetas. Yeah. A lot. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's
Wow.
busy. And they have all kinds of stuff going on there, So we did pork, and then there's burgers, there's veal, there's just something from everything, lamb, you name it, it's being cooked there. It's all over live fire or open flame. So it's just a really cool event, very cool.
Yeah, very active, engaged cook. That's so awesome.
No doubt. No doubt.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about the Fort Lauderdale Food and Wine Barbecue at the Beach thing. That thing looked really interesting.
It is a super outstanding event. It's fun. It's delicious, man. They got some serious cooks come out to that thing, and I'll tell you, it's such a good time. I've been blessed to be involved with it for about, I think this coming year, I think will be my 4th year in it, and man, we've had some serious fun there. It all started. They had this thing going on, and a buddy of mine I saw got involved with it. Who, like, when we first were starting, I had this like influencer day. He came to my house. He like brought a pack of chicken legs. He's like, "Here, show me how to cook drumsticks." And I was like, "Oh my God, who's this guy?" So I see he's involved with the Food and Wine Festival. And I said, "How'd you get involved in that?" He said, "Well, I'll make an introduction." And so he introduced me to the organizers, and we've become pretty good friends. And I've become a pretty good part of it. It's similar to South Beach in that there's a week long of things. They have different events and different dinners at different restaurants, things, but they have on the Friday night, they have the barbecue at the beach. And it used to be, this is going to sound really weird. This was so typical Florida and Fort Lauderdale. It was on the 8th floor of the Hyatt Hotel down on this fancy road called Las Olas in Fort Lauderdale. Who has a barbecue event on the 8th floor of a hotel, But it was really cool because I was able to bring the big green eggs up there, and we were able to actually cook up there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they didn't allow everybody to do that. They allowed me to bring the eggs up there. And the first year we did salmon, and we've always tried to provide something really cool. And I have a great team that works with me. And from the first year we've entered, we've always placed in the top 3. And again,
Wow.
they bring in they brought in John from Interstellar Barbecue. They got a Michelin star this year. They brought him in. They've brought in a number of big people, and we're always right there with them. And I don't say it to boast, but it just baffles me because I'm just a backyard guy, man. I don't have any culinary training. I don't have, I'm just a backyard guy who's watched a lot of YouTube, listened to a lot of things, watched a lot of Food Network back when they had cooking shows, and just learned that way. And so to be, to even be involved with something like that, it's just amazing to me. It really is.
That's a cool experience for sure. No doubt about it. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
So you had, it was a team of you guys in an event.
Yeah. So, what I do when we do an event like that is I got some sponsorship through Big Green Egg. I got some sponsorship through one of the local Italian food purveyors here. and we made a bruschetta salmon the first year. So we cooked up there. So I had myself, my girlfriend, another chef I know named Linky Murray. She's a yacht chef. Grill Girl Robin, she was on the team. You know, we went out and we all
Oh
just
yeah.
made smoked salmon and we made this beautiful grilled bruschetta over it, you know. And you know
Wow.
what? We went in there with blinders on and we took second place, you know, like what? You
That's
know,
so
like how'd that
cool.
happen? You know, yeah, they announced our name. We were like, wait, that's us, you know, like what the hell? So yeah, it was pretty fun, you know. So but yeah, like I said, every year we've done it. I'm going to brag for a minute. Is that I think we did second place. I forget if it was People's Choice or Judges, but they have a People's Choice and a Judges. So we won second there. Next year we won third place in something, and next year we won it. We won the whole damn thing. But we always try and bring something different and serve something different, you know. So and try and keep it Florida centric a little bit. So I know salmon is not really a Florida thing, but fish, you know. So then one year we did
Sure.
the Cuban population down here is huge. So we wanted to do something special. So we did Cuban sandwiches, but we did it with brisket. So I mojo marinated my briskets. I mojo injected my briskets. We smoked them. Then we made Cuban sandwiches right there. We called that a briscubano, you know. And
Wow.
yeah, that was a lot of fun. But the year we won, we did smoked and braised oxtails. We served it over
Whoa.
creamy
Yeah. Yeah.
polenta.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Oh
outstanding. It was
wow.
so funny because the organizers were like, "Come on, man, you've got second, you've got third. We want you to win something. Come on, make something barbecue. You're going to win." I was like, "Just let me make these oxtails." He's like, "No, there's always next year." I said, "All right." So after we won that tournament, I said, don't think I should have made something different. He goes, "All right, all right." You know? A lot of fun though. A lot of fun.
That's cool. What a fun
Yeah,
event.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, I've enjoyed since we got getting to know each other this year. It's been interesting to see how plugged in you are to the Green Egg forums. Right, there's
yeah,
one in South Florida, and then the big one, the Green Egg Fanatics, and all that, and all the cooks that you guys are doing, and all the cool things that's happening in South Florida. Right,
yeah,
there seems
yeah,
like, well, we just listed a few of them. It's event after event after event, which is
yeah.
just so awesome. Right,
There's a lot. There's a lot of cool
we don't. I
stuff
mean,
that
we
goes on. We have a couple of egg fests that
yeah.
happen throughout the state of Florida. You know, there used to be a lot more of them. Some of them have gone away. It's just expensive to do. You know, we used to have the largest egg fest in the country here put on by Wassey's Meat Market. They don't even do it anymore. They had to shut their entire store down for a week, and they're a butcher shop, you know, so they're like, we wind up losing money by having to do this big event, you know, and they said, yeah, well, that's not a
Wow.
very good
Right.
business decision, you know. So it's some of them have gone away. So it's been nice to be involved with things like the food and wines, and we cooked the St. Augustine food and wine this year. You know, we're having a lot of fun doing this stuff, feeling very, very, very blessed. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. That is so awesome. What an exciting time for without a doubt.
Yeah.
So
Well,
moving to the Midwest, you've done something that I've wanted to do the past couple of years is the Memphis in May World Championship Barbecue Cooking Contest.
yeah.
So were you competing there?
Yeah. No, so you know, for years I worked with Fogo Charcoal Company. I actually was an employee of Fogo Charcoal Company and made all their YouTubes. So they always had a spot in the Home Depot grilling area there. So I've got to cook and serve. We just went there and cooked and served samples to people, and then every year I was there, I got to more just insanity. Got to do a demo on stage at the World Championships of Barbecue every year. You know, just like wait, what? So, like, wasn't Heath Riles just on this stage? You know, like, wait a second. So
Right.
it's been really cool. And I had a really big highlight there, you know. So when I got into this barbecue thing, you know, again, backyard guy, starting from nothing, you know, and going, you know, so you know the names, you know the names Heath Riles, you know the names Tuffy Stone, you know, you just, you know, and all people that, man, I hope someday I get to be in the same room as these guys. I hope someday to, you know, shake their hand or get their autograph or something like that, you know? So we're at Memphis in May, and we're over there serving and a little slow time coming through, and Tuffy Stone's getting ready to do his demo on stage. And he's walking past, and we're kind of watching, like, oh, look, there's Tuffy Stone. All of a sudden he stops. He goes, run. I was like, yeah. He goes, I need help with my demo. Come on up and help me, you know? So I got to go on stage with Tuffy Stone and do a demo at Memphis in May. Rashad Phillips, he's there handing out the food for us. You all know Rashad, you know, and I'm like, what world am I living in right now? That like, here's a guy that one
That's
day I just
so
hope to
cool.
meet him, and I'm doing a demo on stage with him because he asked me to come on stage and help him. You know, like it's just, it's so freaking humbling. It's incredible, but it just, you know, it comes down to this, really. It drills down to the fact that the barbecue world, man, people just love people, man. Barbecue just brings people
Yeah.
together, man, and it doesn't matter whether you're a first day cooker or you're a world champion, we've all got something to offer each other, and that was what I really pull away from that a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's so awesome. Wow, what a cool experience. Yet again. You keep getting those, Ron. Very
And,
envious of you.
Yeah.
my, real quick,
So full disclosure.
my uncle had some friends that had a bunch of houses in the Keys, and they were building these houses themselves. People used to say, "Oh man, they get so lucky." And he said, "Yeah, you know what? The harder they work, the luckier they get." That's the way I feel in this barbecue world. If you're sitting around waiting
Amen.
for it to
Yeah.
happen, nothing's going to happen. But you got to go out and get after it too. It's work.
True that.
Yeah. Full disclosure. Ron was in town here in Atlanta a couple months ago, and we had finally got to carve some time out and meet for breakfast. And I just had a blast listening to his stories. And I'm interested in people, right? I mean, I'm interested in interesting people, and Ron's certainly super interesting. And I kind of picked his brain a little bit, and I was curious, like, how did you get started in this, right? So, like I've been grilling for a long, long time, but I never thought about, I didn't even know what an influencer was till I really got started VGASS. Well, no, that's not true. Before that, when I started seriously grilling, when I got my first Kamado grills and I started watching Smokin' Dad Barbecue and Kamado Joe videos and green egg videos and like, how should I do this? Right.
Yeah.
But it never occurred to me to be an influencer. I'm a backyard barbecue guy, period. But I'm interested in a little bit of your backstory. So you're a backyard barbecue guy, you're cooking stuff, you're doing stuff for yourself, your family.
Yep.
But then something clicked and you said, I want to do more with this.
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
Well, so I'd always have a love for cooking. I just always have. From a young age, my mom would have me in the kitchen cooking with her. My grandma, my grandparents came over from Germany on the boat, and she would get that food cooking, and she would always pull me in there and have me helping her, whether it was just for fun or whatever. But it was just something I always remembered. And then in high school, I got a job working in a pizzeria, and I got addicted to this: creating a piece of food, handing it to somebody, watching them take a bite and go, "Oh God, that's so good." And they put that smile on their face. Like I got addicted to that. So, life goes on, and I was probably, I don't know how old, maybe probably close to 40. And they say at 40 years old, men have two choices. All right. You're either going to get deep into World War II history or you're going into smoking meats, one or the other. All right. And I've never been much of a history buff. So here we are today talking about barbecue, but, I'd always enjoyed grilling and the idea of, to tell you the truth, there was a billboard down here for Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, and it had this billboard and it had a filet mignon cut in half, and you could see the black outside edge of the seasoning, and it was just pink from edge to edge, top to bottom, just straight pink, one color throughout. I was like, that's amazing. I need to learn how to do that. So I set out to learn how to cook a steak like that. And, so once I kind of got that a little bit in grilling, I said, now I want to smoke a pork butt. I want to smoke a brisket. So I went out and I got one of these Brinkman. It was a charcoal, but it was like an upright bullet smoker. They make them in electric as well. And so I got this Brinkman smoker, and I'm like, all right, now I'm gonna, show Aaron Franklin how it's done. And so I got that thing, and I'll tell you what, I really learned how to make some seriously bad barbecue on that thing. It was terrible, like biting into an ashtray, only worse. But it got me hooked on the process. I realized there's a process. You got to control the fire. You got to control your temperatures, and things like that. And I'd always seen Big Green Egg, and then kind of skip over a little bit. But one year, I was kind of going through a rough time in life. My parents decided to do something super nice. They bought me a used Big Green Egg, and man, I got hooked. And someone said, "You need to cook in an EggFest." So remember that the largest one in the country I was talking about? Yeah, unbeknownst to me, we signed up to cook in the largest EggFest in the country. So we go there, we make roast beef crostinis and all this other stuff, and all of a sudden everybody's going, "Wow, your food is good. Who are you again? Who are you?" All these people were talking about Instagram. So my daughter turns to me and she says to me, "Dad, you really need to start an Instagram." So I said, "Yes, you should start me an Instagram." So, she did. And, this was well pre-COVID. And I think that, barbecue was kind of growing in popularity, and Big Green Egg was kind of getting more well known. And I think my timing was real good. I had some really good mentors. I followed Barbecue Buddha. a lot. You know, as the dark side of the grill, but they had Grill Mama was on there, you know. So I was following these guys, grilling with Dad, and I was following them, Jack Arnold, and learning what they were doing on this big green egg. And I started using it more and more and more. And I came to realize, you know what? If I can cook it on a stove, if I can cook it in an oven, if I can cook it on a camp stove or on a griddle, I can cook it on my egg, you know? And actually, tell you the truth, I didn't even start with a big green egg. I actually got a Kamado Joe first. I found one on Marketplace and I bought it. And then I found a deal on my parents bought me the big green egg. And I don't know what it was. I just kept going to the egg to cook. I had the Kamado Joe first, but I kept turning to that egg to cook and turning to that egg to cook, you know? So all of a sudden my Instagram starts kind of going off and, you know, holy crap, I have 1,000 followers. Like, what? 1,000 followers, you know? Like, how is that possible? 2,000, you know? Then when I had about 4,000 followers, you know, there was a thing that started in that time that big green egg started. It was hashtag BGE Team Green, you know, and that was for the influencers that were on Team Green and they were supposed to use it. Well, I took it upon myself to start using that hashtag a lot, you know, and they kind of started commenting on my stuff. They shared me on the stories. All of a sudden one day, I literally got an email. It says, Ron, I need your address to send you stuff for being on Team Green. That was it. Like, no, hey man, you know, we want to have, no, that was it, you know? And I turned to my girlfriend. I said, does this say what I think it says? You know, like, and so it was just, it was an incredible honor, you know, to be asked to be on this team because here is what I consider to be the greatest grill in the world. And now they want me to represent them. Just anything is possible, folks. You know what I mean? Like, wow. You know, and it's just
so
it's
cool.
just taking off. Yeah. Sorry, I know I'm dominating a conversation.
So
I
how
can
many,
talk about this
how
stuff
many,
all day.
so now it started with one, right? And now how many of those big green eggs do you have right now?
Man. Well,
Go
so
down the list.
I actually just gave one away, but I'm down to 8 now. I'm down to 8. So, yeah.
8
You know,
Kamados.
yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. So you know, I had to get rid of that Kamado Joe. You know, they said we can have you on Big Green Egg, but you got to get rid of that red grill. Okay, no problem, no problem. You know, but yeah, so you know, the problem with Big Green Eggs is they tend to multiply in the backyard. You know, you got different sizes, and then as I was cooking more things, I started doing a little catering. You know, and I like being the Big Green Egg guy. So I've had all 8. I actually had all 9 burning at one time. Actually, no, I had all 8 burning. I have one that's a special one. It's called the unicorn egg. It's blue. Back in 1998, Big Green Egg partnered up with, I think it was a pool company, and they made like 190 of these things in blue. And a couple of years ago, I managed to find someone that was selling one, and drove up to Atlanta to pick it up. And now I have a blue one, which I have never ever lit a fire in because if it cracks or something like that, there's no replacing anything on it. You know, no replacing anything on it. So,
Right. Hence
but
the
yeah,
unicorn. Yeah.
I have all different sizes. I have a couple of, I think 3 XLs, a few larges. I have the Mini Max, you know, but tell you, my workhorses are my XL and my Mini Max. I use those things like it's going out of style, man.
Wow. Very cool. That's awesome.
So let me ask you this. I think you already said what it was. What was your very first grill for Ron to cook on?
I mean, my first one was obviously
was that upright
grill.
smoker?
My first personal grill was a gas grill, you know. But once I wanted to go into smoking and things like that, I got that little Brinkman upright one, and you know, once I realized that didn't work. Funny enough, I went from that to a 250-gallon offset smoker that I just found at a really incredible deal, you know, locally, and so I went from that to that, and you know. I didn't actually use that one very well either because I really didn't know the process. I didn't know how this all worked, you know, and I'm just loading that thing up with wood and everything's coming out super smoky, you know, and then through a divorce, that was the last I saw of that of that trailer smoker, unfortunately. But you know, it's probably better because I was able to really learn more. You know, even that taught me that it's not all just about loading wood in and just making a fire. You know, there's a process to it all. You know, and that's kind of I looked at each step along the way of I had that smoker, then I had this smoker, then I had that, and each different one has taught me something different about the craft. You know, so I wouldn't trade it. You know, yeah, did it cost me some money and bad food? Sure, it did, but it really taught me how to hone the craft and what to look for and what to do. You know.
Yeah, my first few grills were all gas grills. You know, I was married, raising kids, working full time, and yeah, and just never really got around to doing much charcoal. It's you got to light it, you got to do this, you got to do that. But about 12 years ago, 13, what year is it? 2026, 15 years ago. I bought an airplane, a little one, old one, cheap. And my hangar ended up being Social Central. I put a refrigerator in there, a microwave, coffee maker, TV. It was great. The thing we were missing was a grill. So I went and bought a Weber kettle and I started charcoal grilling. And it was like, wow, this is so much better than gas. This is great. So I used to, cook for the guys, hot dogs, hamburgers, sometimes pork steaks, things like that. And then one of my pilot buddies came over and he goes, have you ever cooked on a green egg? I'm like, no, but I've looked at them. They're too expensive for me, right? He goes, no, you don't understand. When you cook on them,
you'll know
it's
why.
going to it'll change your worldview, right? So he actually had a Vision grill, which is a kind of a, what did he call it? The Beast from the East, right? It was a knockoff, basically a knockoff egg. And he brought it over to my hangar and he let me hang on to it. And he goes, when you start cooking on this, you won't go back. And he was right. When I started cooking on the Kamado, on the ceramic, it was all over, man. It was all over. I ended up finding 2 on discount at Home Depot, and then after that, I bought a Big Joe for the house here, and I now have a green egg, a large green egg.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got a few grills myself, and I actually keep an egg for one of my trade shows and stuff.
Yeah,
but I'm kind of getting into the green egg thing as well.
It's funny because they really do tend to multiply. They really do.
Yeah, my wife puts a hard stop on 3 grills, like hard stop. Like you really need to get rid of one of those.
Yeah.
So I'm looking to get rid of my Vision grill.
I'll deny saying it, but it's better to ask forgiveness.
I know. But see, I retired. I retired and then started this business.
Yeah.
I only have one. I tell people I've been married 35 years now. 2 marriages, but 35 years.
That's funny.
That's awesome. Just barbecue gear in general just multiplies, and then you got to figure out, what am I going to do with all this?
Well, and Mr. Flavorsmith, you have 8, 9 grills back there, all different kinds. Not like a bunch of the same. You're just a variety guy.
I've still got stuff in the boxes I haven't even put together yet. I'm like, I don't want to bring it out. I just cover it and I put it in the side of the yard. That way nobody sees it and they don't know they're there. And I just pile them on top of each other. And then I'm like, okay, now I'm going to ease it in when family's not around for the weekend. Just ease it on, build it real quick, and bust the video out and be like, hey, I have no idea how that got here. Weird.
You can, now, if you kept it in the yard you can honestly say, it's been in the yard the whole time. What are you talking about? See?
Yeah.
Smart.
She's not getting rid of this, okay? This thing's staying here. It saved our lives. It's a Weber 22-inch kettle that's all been converted over with Spider Grill stuff. So it actually has like the Kamado insert in here, the Kamado bowl and everything. So
cool.
Yeah,
it's a hybrid.
It's a hybrid, and a techie one, smart heat controller and everything. So, I've got 2 young boys, a 4-year-old and a 9-year-old, and I am on the run all the time. And usually when I start a cook, I usually have to stop or pause to go pick them up from school or do something, run an errand. So to be able to check out and monitor my cooks from like my smartphone or my watch or something like that, like for me, that's a huge deal. And when I get the time and I'm able to enjoy it, then I go back to more just traditional, non-smart, non-tech. And that's kind of like my Zen time, but I have to mix it all up. So I have fun with it. And then my followers, they love it all too. So
sure.
Works out.
Spider was smart, man. Spider was smart when they came out with the Weber parts, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just going into a whole new market. Yeah, that was smart.
That was really smart because, you produce your own grill and then you have a little hybrid one and it just gets everybody over there and they're going to transition over to getting, their official grill. So it works.
They came out with the XL, which was huge, pardon the pun.
Yeah.
That was big. And then they come out with the retrofit for the Webers, which was another brilliant move.
So awesome. Yeah. It's been amazing for sure.
I think that was one of those, let's take the most popular grill in the world and make a bunch of cool stuff for it. Like a no brainer.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's great. I have a part that I've designed that's going to do the same thing. I just need to button down everything and get it going. But
Cool.
it's going to be a good one. Yet
Very
another system that goes on there. So
Awesome.
at
Boys in
some
their
point in
toy.
time, I'll get. You got it. That's the only difference is the price of the toys. That's
You
it.
got that right, my friend. You've got that right. Too funny. Too funny. But, just to go back, I mean, I know we're talking about all kinds of stuff, but you're talking about storage. And that was one of the problems that I had with Kamada. That's why I was so glad when we all kind of connected because, there's just stuff everywhere. I mean, for each XL, I've got a convector, I've got 2 half moons, I've got and this, that, the other thing. I have 4 grates, and this, it's just, where do you keep all of this stuff? So I mean, I know I don't want to turn this into a commercial, but that's what I mean. It really made my yard neater. Period. I mean, you know what I mean. So the VGASS, it's a great system. I mean, it really is. I say that when I'm not talking to you two. you know.
Well, it saved my marriage so far. It took a lot of clutter and put it into one central located place. Awesome.
It's a fact.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It definitely made Nan a happier person.
Yeah.
For sure.
George was able to clean up his hanger with that.
There you go.
That wasn't. She didn't care about that. It's like that's like 20 miles away. Don't care. But my patio's different.
I hear you.
You got to clean that up. So I blame her, right? So we started. I started VGASS, but basically we started VGASS because we're self-funding. We self-funded the whole project. But it's like, well, if you really want your patio clean, I had this idea.
Genius.
So and here we are.
That's all.
If you got one of these, then you probably have a bunch of these. Are your accessories scattered all over or sitting in a plastic bin rusted and broken? Are you looking for a better way to manage and protect them? If so, then say hello to VGASS. VGASS eliminates clutter and gives your gear the home it deserves. Upgrade your outdoor cooking experience with the first and only system designed specifically for managing and storing grilling accessories.
And then you're not going around and doing things that they don't know about, and
believe that.
cleaning a life up.
So Ron,
yes,
what's your favorite cook for you? If you were just going to walk out back and cook something, what's your favorite cook for you? Just you.
Man, I know it's going to sound basic, but I just love me a good steak. Like you get a nice prime New York strip or something like that, a nice thick one, reverse seared. I mean, just I know it's simple and it's maybe even boring, but God, it's just so good. I mean, a good one. I mean, like a good quality. It doesn't have to be Wagyu. I'm not a big A5 fan or like that. I like some of the Australian Wagyu, but a nice prime New York strip to me, man. Everybody's gonna say ribeye and I love a picanha, but boy, but a good New York strip, I'll take that every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
I agree 1,000%.
Yeah, and I just started. I've been going to Costco and buying whole ribeyes and whole strips and things like that, and now I can cut them as thick as I want, and I like them thicker as well. And I started reverse searing about 6 months ago. Yeah, and on those thicker cuts, man, they come out so good.
Yeah, reverse searing is just like the greatest method of cooking that anybody's ever invented. It used to be. I was always brought up. If you want to do that, you sear the steak first, then you cook. Nice slow roast, and then that hard sear at the end. What I've noticed too, that for me, because you want to rest a steak, you want to cook it and then let it rest for 10, 15 minutes before you do it. So what I do is I'll set up 2-zone cooking on my egg, cook that thing over here at 250 indirect, pull it off, open the vents, open the top, and let that fire get ripping for the next 10, 15 minutes. Sear that steak for a minute or two per side. I take it right off of there, put it right on the cutting board and slice it, and it's already fully rested. Oh, it's a beautiful thing. God, my mouth is watering right now.
Yeah.
So it's already had the resting
method.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I like that. I'll have to try that. I like that.
So since you're talking about reverse sears, I have to plug Green Egg for a second. So I was up at the mothership a few months ago and been talking to them about maybe doing a little something together with the VGASS and Green Egg and stuff. But I'm looking at you've been in the main the mothership and where they have all their accessories and everything. Did you ever see that? I wish I had it handy. The grill clamp, not the hand clamp, but there's another gadget that goes on and grabs the grate and you can lift it up.
Thing on the bottom like this, right?
It's so awesome. That's like for reverse sears. That's the greatest thing since sliced bread, man. I can pop my grates off, take the heat deflectors off, pop the grates back on, no problem. It's awesome. I bought one. I'm like, yeah, but I'll take one. And then like a couple months later, I was talking to him about, look, I can do at my shows, I can do a unit dedicated to VGASS equipment. If you want to give me the equipment, right? I'll be happy to, plug your stuff. And they gave me a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm just thinking I should have waited on this grill lifter.
I know.
Because I just spend money everywhere. I just buy accessories, man.
It's fun, isn't it?
That was a brilliant idea, though, by Egg. I've not seen one like that. Maybe there's something else out there, but I haven't seen it. That was great. Anyway, I digress. So favorite cooks. What's your favorite cook for groups? Like if you were going to host 10, 12 people that you know or don't know.
So it depends. If it's going to be a barbecue crowd, it's going to be different than if it's 12 friends coming over. The most guilty pleasure I have is making a good pulled pork because, so many people think it's so involved that it's really the easiest thing to smoke and cook, but people love it. I love making a good pulled pork. I really do. And I know people are going to go, oh, whatever, but that's okay. That's what I enjoy cooking for a crowd.
You can do so much with it, you can mix it and turn it into a casserole. You could do tacos. That's a great choice. Absolutely.
Yep. No, as you say, just to build on what MrFlavorsmith was saying there is that, I made a video for Fogo where we did pulled pork mac and cheese. I make my mac and cheese and you put pulled pork right into it, top it with some barbecue sauce. Golly, man.
That's just
so good.
Yeah. Are you typically doing low and slow or hot and fast on your butts and briskets and things like that?
I'm sort of an in-between kind of guy. I'll go like 275, sometimes 300 with my boat. I don't really cook them at 350, but my standard smoking temperature on the green egg is 250 to 275 anyway. That's where I smoke everything at. And you can do 225 all you want. My brisket at 275 is going to come out almost identical to your 225 big green egg brisket, so that's what I find. So I'm kind of an in-between guy. I'm not necessarily hot and fast, but I'm not super slow and low either,
Yeah, I actually consider 275, 300 hot and fast. But that's what I do. I do the same thing, 275 to 300. I usually get the Costco boneless butts, right? 2 to a pack, 7 or 8 pounders, and I'll put both of those on, and it'll take about maybe 7 hours ish. Depends on the butt, but about 7 hours, and I'll wrap them and I'll put them in a cooler for 3 or 4 hours. But it's the rest for me that gets it across the finish line. Because
absolutely,
at hot and fast, it may be not as it won't break down as easy as well if you smoked it for 12 or 14 hours.
Yeah.
But if you rest it, a whole different ballgame. Matter of fact, 4th of July, I did a brisket. I did a 23-pound brisket, and I did it on Friday, and the event was Saturday. And I put it in the oven at 150 for 16 hours, and it was wonderful when it came out.
Yep.
It was just wonderful.
Absolutely. And, what I like about that too is that, you go hot and fast or something like that, but you're still getting the smoke on it. You're still getting the whole process, you're still getting everything involved. And, like I said, for me, I don't know that the layman or even a lot of experienced people would be able to tell you the difference between a 225 or a 275, except that one took 5 hours longer.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a great piece of meat because it's got so much room for error too. I tell everybody if you want to get into smoking something or you want more of a stress-free cook for that party, the pork butt is great just because there's so much fat in there and everything that you really can't mess it up unless you almost intentionally try to.
Yeah.
I'm such a backyard guy. The first 3-4 years I had a Kamado style grill, I would only do butts. I wouldn't do a brisket. It's like that was intimidating because everyone said, yeah, you can screw up a brisket. And I'm like, yeah, if you can screw it up, yeah, that's got me written all over it. Right.
Leave it to me.
So I did butts for a long time and finally grew a pair. And it turned out okay. My first effort on a brisket was okay. But I had done enough butts to where I had a good feel for the process. Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I was chicken, man. I was totally chicken.
people ask me, what's the first thing I should cook on my big green egg? And I've actually made a couple of videos, the first thing to cook on your new big green egg. The number one thing I say is pork butt, because like you said, it's so forgiving. It could jump to 350. Your fire could go out, you go down to 180. It's so forgiving. It's going to turn out basically the same product in the end anyway. So that's the one that I always recommend to everybody.
Right.
But it teaches you, you got the time, you can learn your vent control a little bit more, you can learn all different things. And it's a great thing, and I try and implore people, you want to go use a blower fan, you want to use a controller, that's fine. Try it without it. Learn your grill first. And then, if you want to do that, but this way you have the basics of it mastered, you can go from there. Once you do that, man, the world is your oyster,
Yeah, absolutely. Agree with you 1,000%.
So what was your, and I think I might already know the answer to this. What's your most unusual cook?
Well, I'd have to go with something I'm kind of doing a lot of right now. You'll see them next weekend in Ohio. I'm doing iguanas at a lot of the EggFests. So down here in South Florida, we are just overrun with iguanas. I mean, if I showed you my backyard right now, there's probably, my backyard there's none, ironically, but like my neighbor's yard, there's probably 8 of them in my neighbor's yard right now. So I've been taking them, we skin them and put them on the egg for the day and smoke them, and you'd be surprised at how good it actually is.
Yeah, that's awesome. Honestly, I've had a lot of really weird stuff from all around the world. I have never had a smoked iguana, but
really?
Man, I tell you what, I'm down to try. And I used to breed exotic reptiles. And I used to have 3 huge iguanas. And like, at first when I saw that, I'm like, wait, oh no, that actually makes sense.
Yeah.
They eat a lot of really good stuff. Like they're going to be pretty flavoricious. And I saw yours. I'm like, I got to try that. But we don't get a lot of iguanas here in Southern California, so it's tough for us to do that.
I hear that. I brought some out to Arizona to an event this year. I'm bringing some to Ohio, and it's always fun to check them into an airplane on a cooler. They're like, what's in the cooler? I said, food. What kind of food? You sure you want to know? Yep. All right, iguanas. The one lady asked me, she goes, are they alive? I'm like, yes, I have 6 live iguanas in that cooler. No, they're not alive. But it always raises some eyebrows going through TSA, right. That's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, just so you know, Ron, and you've met me, so you know I'm fat. In spite of that, I'm a picky eater. I probably won't have your iguana. However,
you got to
make some beef ribs.
Well, we just did it up at the New England EggFest, and everybody's looking at it and everybody's going, ooh, ooh, ooh. So all of a sudden I kind of pulled the tail off and I'm just ripping off little pieces and everybody wanted to try it. Do you know how many people asked for another piece? So many.
Oh, I bet.
If you can picture a saltwater chicken, okay, that's what I try and tell people. Picture what a saltwater chicken would taste like. That's what it's like.
All right, you could probably get me to try it, but don't be upset if I'm like,
Well, so with this issue you guys have of the iguanas running around everywhere, what about like Burmese python? Have you done a smoked Burmese python?
We have. Not from here, but when I go to the Texas Open Fire meetup the first year, we did python and we did rattlesnake. Yeah, we did both of them.
Oh, rattlesnake. There you go.
Yeah,
there you go. Yeah,
I wasn't a big fan of either one. I don't think we cooked it right, and it was kind of tough, and it was not very good.
Yeah.
I would like to try that again. But
so you prefer the iguana over the python? That makes sense.
yeah, I would say so. Yeah, but it's funny. We get this rap down here about all these wild animals like that. I've lived down here since 1989. If you want to see a gator, like you need to go hunt down and find an alligator out in the Everglades. You want to find a python? They have python hunts, and these guys come back empty-handed. They didn't see one, So everybody thinks they're just running amok wild everywhere. It's not like that,
It's not crazy. Like that, yeah.
So, Ron, we can wrap up today, and I'm put you through the ringer, but wanted to talk a little bit about, like you like to teach, right? Mm-hmm. I noticed in your write-up you do a lot of hands-on classes, and would love to hear about that because MrFlavorsmith, his kids have gotten into barbecue big time. We talked about that with Chef Ray last week, and Chef Ray works with kids a lot at the egg events, right?
Yeah.
And so, it's kind of like I like to coach. I coach tennis and I've coached youth sports and love working with kids. So talk about that a little bit.
Sure. Yeah. I love it. It's one of the things that I do. So when I first kind of got into this big green egg world, I had my egg, and of course, like I said, they multiply. So all of a sudden I got that blue one. So I had a large, then I got that blue one, which was also a large. And I go on Facebook Marketplace. There's this JJ George beautiful wooden table that was made for 2 large eggs. So I'm texting this guy and sending him messages. He's never getting back to me. It wound up, his name was Kurt, and he owns a company called Caribbean Seasonings. So I go over to his house, and he had built a pretty good following, and his rub company was doing pretty well. And I had like 500 followers at the time, but he knew who I was, and we're both in Florida. And he said to me, he says, if you want to do something good in this world, you want to stand out. He goes, don't just show yourself cooking, teach people what you know. Okay. Help others, and that's what I've kind of always based my Instagram life on, is trying to help others. Yeah. I want to show off some of the cool shit we do, cool stuff we do and things, but I want to make sure that I'm providing value. That's what I liked about the YouTube and with Fogo and with myself now, is that I'm able to make these videos and it's able to help, to your point there, a lot of the kids now, some of the EggFests are doing a kids steak cook-off at the EggFest, but I'm seeing more and more families involved, and the kids are there with the kids cooking,
Yeah.
My buddy TJ Cannon, his son is out there cooking with them, and it's just awesome to see all these kids getting involved, because you know what? Families tend to be going in their own opposite directions everywhere now. The kids are going here, dad's going here, mom's going there, and it's something that, man, mom and dad, and I see the same thing, mom's out there cooking now. Mom's out on the grill cooking, making up some incredible stuff, and got the kids with her, or dad's out there, or both of them, and they got the kids involved, I mean, my parents, we did everything with my parents. Yeah, we had an occasional babysitter. We did everything with them. They included us in everything. That's the way I raised my kids. My kids are like, they're a unicorn now because they're social. They actually talk to people. They'd rather be outdoors doing something
Right.
than inside on their phones, And I love seeing that. I love seeing the kids involved in it, because it's healthy, man. It's good stuff. It's teaching your kids so much more than just how to cook a steak, You go to these events,
Yep.
It teaches them social skills, it teaches them how to interact, So I think it's great. And I love instructing that. I love to share that thimble full of knowledge that I have. I like to share it with others, because I can't tell you through my YouTube videos how many times people come up to me at EggFest. They're like, man, I had that big green egg and I was ready to get rid of it. I was just going to give the damn thing away. I was burning everything. Everything tasted like I was biting into an ashtray. My family hated it. She said, right before I gave it away, I decided, so I watched some of your videos and I said, well, let me just do what this guy does. He goes, you know what? Now my kids want to come over to the house every Sunday and have a barbecue.
That's so cool.
That's
it,
awesome.
right there.
It raises
Right
the hair
there.
on, I don't know if you can see it, but it raises the hair on my arm. Man,
Yep.
if I could do something that's helping a family get together and spend some time breaking bread and enjoying and talking to each other, wow. How awesome is that,
Right. Agree a lot with that. That's the same thing with me. I feel that I've involved my entire family. I even get Mrs. Flavorsmith into things. She's usually doing the side dishes and everything, but it turns into off camera. It turns into, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? Dad, I want to help you with this. I want to do that. My 4-year-old jumps up on the grill. He's got his own little stand and he knows not to touch this and what to do. And then he's like, Dad, give me the tongs. Give me the tongs. I want to flip it. I want to do it. And it brings everybody together all the time. When we go camping, it's the same thing. We try to cook and get everybody together. And then that turns into, okay, well, we're going to have s'mores afterwards and do the marshmallows over the fire. And it's really cool. Yeah. And then, just being able to give back and teach people, it's like a superpower, you have, you got to do something with it. So teach, and or inspire, just inspire. If you're not teaching, inspire. And I know you make a ton of inspirational stuff. When people see your content, they're just like, I want to do that. I want to do an iguana now. I've never done one. So I'm inspired to do that. Yeah. Good job there.
Thank you.
Yeah. By the way, Ron, Mr. Flavorsmith's kids were technically our very first guests on podcast 3, episode 3.
Oh,
they were our guests.
I saw that one. I have to go
you
back. It's very cool.
It was great. He's got a 4-year-old and a 9-year-old, and the 9-year-old was dialed in. The 4-year-old was dialed in spurts.
All over the place.
Like any 4-year-old, right?
So it was a 4-year-old.
He's like, but he's pointing at that girl, Daddy. I want to do that girl. And, it's just really cool what he's done with his kids and not what he's done, but his kids want to do that. It's clear, right?
Yeah.
So it's just a lot of fun. It's
and
so cool.
There's so many dads I get comments on my videos and stuff that are just like, wow, I want to get my kids into it just like that.
Yeah.
And here's the deal. If you get the kids into it, then the wife gets into it, and then you can get more grills because it's a family event.
Thank you.
Right?
No wonder we get along so well.
There it is.
But I don't see a green egg on your patio.
No, well, I've got a little tiny one, the 4.5-inch one. That's what I've got.
All right.
Hey, that's all right.
Someday.
Hey, listen, you know what? So I'm a big green egg guy, but I have other grills back here. I have a huge Tagwood open fire. I have some Weber kettles. I have an Art to Flame. I have griddles. I've got a lot of other stuff. But, so for me, big green egg is the best all around grill, period. End of story. It's mine. But I tell everybody, it's like, oh, well, I cook, but I don't have a big green egg. I said, listen to me. If you're in your backyard, you're holding a steak and you're cooking it over a Bic lighter, okay? And if it turns out well and you're happy with it and your family's happy with it, it sounds like you're doing it right, I am not a grill snob. I am not a grill snob. I think that whatever you're cooking on, my buddy came out, he was going to get a big green egg. I know my buddy. He is not going to go through the process of learning it and lighting the fire, and it would have sat in his backyard unused. We got him a Traeger. Okay. We got him a Traeger. Yeah. And now he went from burning water when he tried to boil it to, again, another one that I swear to God, his kids want to come over all the time now and have his cooking because he uses his Traeger and he cooks with it. If he got a green egg, that would not be happening. I know that,
Yeah.
You got to have what fits your lifestyle.
Probably will get into it now. Yeah. His next grill might be a green egg for sure. Yeah.
If I could touch on that for a second, people make fun of pellet grills, oh, it's an easy bake oven. It's just that and the other thing, I'm a fan of, I've never cooked one single thing on a pellet grill, but I'm a big fan of them because what it does to me is it gets people into the hobby. You know how many people I know that went out and got a pellet grill, started cooking on it, and they're like, oh, I'm making the greatest food. And then they go to their buddy's house who has an off-center, who has a big green egg, and they taste that. They're like, oh my God. But now they already have the hook. The hooks are in them. They're into smoking meat. They're into creating food. And now they're going to progress and move on, So I'm not one of those that's against pellet grills at all.
Yeah, me too. Same thing. Yeah, it's a gateway into.
It's a gateway drug.
It. Yeah,
it is.
It's a gateway drug.
It's the weed of the barbecue world, right?
You got it. It totally is.
Too funny.
God. That is too funny.
Jeez.
I
you
love
guys
this.
are hysterical.
I could talk this stuff all day long, man. I'm having a good time.
Well, you know what, Ron? We will be happy to have you back on the podcast at some point. Maybe later this year we'll do another one. I know you got some events coming up. You and I have an event coming up this weekend, the Ohio EggFest, which I'm super excited about, by the way. It's going to be a long drive, but it'll be worth it.
If I would have known
what
you were
else
driving,
do you have coming up?
If I would have known you were driving, I probably would have flown to Atlanta and driven with you. I love a road
that
trip,
would have been
I'm like
great.
a weird. I love a road trip. Like for real.
Me too. I love road trips.
Yeah. Well, you probably have a layover in Atlanta, don't you?
No, I think I have a layover in Charlotte for this one. Something, I don't think I'm on Delta this time. They all run into each other. It's a good problem to have, but yeah.
Good problem to have. Yeah. So we'll see you in Ohio. What else you got coming up this year?
So I got the Ohio EggFest. I've got there's another thing in it's kind of cool in Ohio. I get to do every year. It's at Hartville Hardware, which is the largest privately owned hardware store in the country. And they have a thing called Grill Fest. So I'm the big green egg chef every year. Danielle Diva Q, she comes out and she's there for Traeger. Mike, another pint, please. He comes out for Weber, and Greg Rampy comes out from the barbecue podcast. And it's just a great event, man. It's just all about grilling. It's just about making good food and sharing it all around. So that's a fun event. I have that coming up. Again, this weekend is the Ohio EggFest. George, you're going to really enjoy this event. It's great people up there, and they really know how to put on a good event. So I'm excited for that.
So for the people listening to this, like the Ohio EggFest, how many participants, like how many spectators, how many people are involved with it, as cooks and, exhibitors, whatever. Rough numbers.
I'm going to guess there's probably 20 to 25 cook teams maybe or something like that, which is a pretty good amount, and they bring it, man. This place, they bring it. I'm like, woo, I'm glad I'm not competing because woo, they know what they're doing up there, boy. And as far as attendees, I don't know, man. It's got to be at least 1,000 that come, and it's
Awesome.
nice because it raises a lot of money for a charity. I think last year it raised like $30,000 in one day for the charity,
Wow.
which is amazing. And they're just great hosts. They have a demo stage there. I'll be cooking a demo there. I'm going to be doing so kind of funny when we were up when I saw you, George, actually. We went up to a winery up in LJ, and the people next to us were from Ohio. We start talking. They own a bourbon distillery in Ohio. So he's going to bring a case of bourbon down for me, and we're going to make steaks with a bourbon cream sauce as my demo and promote the guys, local distillery bourbon, So I love when I can intermingle things like that, and it just shows you. We're at this winery in Georgia, and here's the next people from Ohio next to us, and it all comes together. Tell me barbecue doesn't bring people together, Amazing.
You gotta love our community, man. You gotta love it.
No doubt. All
right, guys, listen, we're out of time.
Okay.
Ron, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming on today. We will absolutely have you on again. You're just so much fun to talk to.
Yeah, total blast. Total blast. And I learned a lot about exotic animals and how you can cook them. I love it.
Bearded dragon next. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Bearded dragon.
Good time. MrFlavorsmith, Ron, appreciate it. And
Thank you.
We will see y'all soon.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody.